Hey Quakers, here's your video B tutorial, how to make a highlight clip. So the classic idea here is to pick a subject that's kind of cool, find some pictures, maybe a video clip, a good little piece of a song, and you're going to put it all together and you're going to try to match it up really nice. So if your song's really fast paced, then you're going to want your edits to go fast, or if it's a slower song, you slow things down. You can even try to do it really time it, so if there's like a certain rhythm to the song, like every time there's a big beat, you could do something with your edit. You could watch a couple of these examples. This is a classic one here. You could check that out. Watch a little bit of it. But basically you're going to see text flies down, the color of the text changes, and then we take a picture and we're moving the camera all around the picture to make it look like it's got movement. So let me show you some of those things. So let's start with, I'm going to start with just a basic text here, and I want to get it to move around. Now, I already did it. Let's watch it. See how it flies in? The color changes, and then it's going to fly out. So let me show you how easy that is to do with text. You click into this generated media. Remember, if you can't see that, you got to zoom up on it a little bit. Use your mouse. And then you're going to want to do is go into placement. And when you're in placement, you're going to look down here at this timeline, and you notice mine has these diamonds. Each one of these diamonds is a keyframe. And let me show you what I've done. I'm going to get rid of them real quick. Delete them. Delete them. The idea behind a keyframe is, here you go. The keyframes are, if you give it a keyframe, the computer is going to make animation between the frames. So for this one, I want to start my text, say high up in here in the air. And then maybe I want to fly in really fast. So I'm going to go just like a 1 second into the clip. I'm going to grab this and move it down. So from here to here, the computer is going to automatically make it flow. Boom. And then I want to stay here for a while. So I'm going to copy this, come over here, and paste it. So for the next, from second 1 to second 4, it doesn't move at all. It just stays still. And then I want to fly out at the end. So I go to the last, grab this, and move it down. And there you go. It's going to fly in, pause, fly down. Easy. Now how would you change the colors of your text? You'd go to Properties, and the same thing, you can use these keyframes. You can even add more keyframes if you want. Let's say from the first second to the 2.5 seconds, I want it to go from yellow gradually to blue. So now the color is going to slowly change from yellow to blue. See how it's the color wheel right up here? See the colors are changing. And then from here, I want it to go to, say, like a red. All right, now let's watch it and see if it works. So it comes down to yellow, it's slowly changing to blue, now it's changing to red at the end, there it goes. Sweet, so that's how you can move text around. Now, what about doing it with a picture? Now with a picture, what I want to show you two things, special effects with the pictures, and then also how to move them around. Let's start with moving them around. The best way to do it is using track motion. So it's right over here in your track. If you don't see it, if this thing is squeezed like this, you may not see the track motion, so you may have to unsqueeze it. There you go. Now click on the track motion, and the track motion is really powerful. I'm going to move that a little bit out. And the first thing, the most important thing to see is, I'm going to move this down a little bit. Okay, I moved it down. That I want you to show you there's a playhead here inside of track motion, and there's also a playhead here from my main timeline. And the thing to notice is if you move the main timeline track head, the playhead, it does not move it in the track motion. But if you move this one, it will move the main one with it. That's a really nice feature. It's really powerful. So you want to always use this one. So as you move this playhead along, you get to where the picture appears. There it is. And let's say I want this picture to start small. So I can zoom it like this. And it makes a little, right here, it makes a little keyframe. And it's all, you also see it down here in the timeline. So now what's going to happen is my picture appears, boom, it's going to start small. And let's say as the picture moves, as the timeline moves, I want that picture to start getting bigger. So I zoom. And let's say I also want the camera to move a little bit. So I can move this around the screen like that. So now watch what will happen. It'll go, start small, and it'll slide over to there. And then maybe like that's a part in the music where there's a big rhythm, boom. And so when that happens, maybe you want the picture now to hit that corner and start to rebound and move back over to here, and maybe get bigger too as it goes. So let's watch that play ahead. So it starts out, boom. Here, we start from here. Boom. Hey, what happened? I erased my other keyframe, I think. Oh well. So let's keep moving it down a little bit. Now let's move this back over here. Get even a little bit bigger. Alright, see how that looks. Goes over there, hits, and then it comes back over to there. Okay. And if you want to keep going, you can pull that clip out, make it go longer so you have more to do with it. Now let's say I wanted to just, let's say you wanted to just stay here and stop for a little bit. So what you have to do is take that keyframe, copy it, come over here and paste it. So now in between here and here, and I actually went too far, I'm going to pull that out. I can pull that back. There. So between here and here, it doesn't move at all, because these two keyframes are the same. And now I want it to get even bigger. So now I'm going to go boom. Maybe it's going to end just like that. Boom. And then that's enough, and then I can fade it out at the end. So that's a quick little way to show you. I get the picture bigger, hits, move it over, pauses, and then it gets a little bit bigger at the end. All using track motion, really powerful tool to use. Play around with that. Now the final thing is, I want to show you about this track motion. The track motion puts keyframes on the entire track. So this very last keyframe had my picture zoomed way up. That will stay for the rest of the track. So if you come to if you have something else downstream, like the text, that also is going to be affected by that keyframe. So when you're using track motion, you want to either give the picture its own track, or you want to reset the track motion once you're done. So I can come here. First I'll click into the track motion. If you double click, it'll open it back up. I'm going to come down a little bit, move the playhead so it's here, it's kind of in no man's land. And I want to make a new keyframe here and just set everything back to normal. So go up to here where it says preset, drop that down and say default. Now it'll reset everything to normal. And that way the text that's downstream, it won't be jacked up. It'll be alright. So I'm going to put that, now you can move that back here. So now you see how to make pictures move using track motion, how to get text to move. And the final thing I want to show you is how to put a special effect and make that move. So let's say this picture, I want to do a special effect to it. Special effects are right in here. So if you zoom up enough, Event FX. If you click on that, this box pops up. There's lots of different special effects with Sony, so just play around and see what you can do. Let's say you want to do, the mirror is kind of cool. So I'm going to say, okay, now it's going to add a mirror, and a second box pops up where you can start to play with it. And you can see immediately the default, it created a mirror. See where we're looking, there's like a mirror right along the center. You can play with that mirror, bring it up or down. You can change the angle on it. Okay. Now, if you just leave it alone like this, the effect will be static. It won't move. It'll just have that one effect. But let's say you want it to move around. So what I do here is with the keyframes, on the very first keyframe, I'll have it, let's say, just normal. But then 2 or 3 seconds down, I'll change the angle and also this part. And then what it's going to do is it's going to start to do that effect as it moves. And let's do some more. Come all the way around maybe and circle back over. And maybe change that up a little bit too. So now it's going to go round, keep going around, get bigger. And maybe as it gets bigger, I bring this angle back to just Sean. It takes me out altogether. Ha. That's kind of cool. So now, watch it. So now I have that special effect that's playing at the same time that the track motion's playing. I'm using that mirror, spinning things around. Boom. And we have Sean at the end. using the mirror effect. It's kind of crazy. You can add multiple effects. So I have a mirror effect, and then I can click here where it says plug-in chain. You can add another one. So let's say I wanted to make it also do a cool one that I like to use is the Spherize is pretty cool. You can try that one out. The other one is the light rays. I like the light rays, and also the lens flare. That's a classic one. So the lens flare, check it out. Sometimes you have to move the playhead a little bit into the picture to see the lens flare. Oh, I'm still on mirror. My bad. What happened to lens flare? Click on this. Add another one. Sony lens flare. I have to say okay. Okay, there it goes. Now I got it. So now you can see the lens flare. It's right there. See it moving around a little bit. It's only in the picture. It's not in the black part. You can increase the intensity of it, or the colors of it, the size, get smaller or bigger, and then make it move across. So now I have two timelines: the mirror and the lens flare. And let's say I get to the end and I want that lens flare to move over like that. So now the lens flare is going to move across the picture. It's kind of funky with this picture, but you can hopefully see that special effect, that lens flare right there, moving back and forth. So really the whole idea about trying moving things is this whole notion of keyframes, creating keyframes. You have different tracks here, mirror and lens, and with the keyframes, you can have the picture move, or really you don't think of the picture move, think of it as a camera moving over the picture. You can do crazy, funky special effects. And then of course we can also get our text to drop in, fly around, move around however you want. Do all that, time up your music, get a music track. Hopefully you guys know how to get music tracks now off of YouTube. I would use this tutorial right here, getting on music from YouTube. If you haven't used that one yet, watch that. It's using this convert files, it's pretty good. Make sure when you use it, I would always use it using Chrome or Firefox. It works best. So have some fun with this video B. Learn your track motions, very powerful. And learn how to do your different special effects. Have some fun with it. And looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with.